It's so very heartwarming to see that the police in the UK have their priorities in order. Oh, sure, there are an estimated 23,000 known jihadis gallivanting around in the United Kingdom without ankle bracelets. But then again, you don't want to infringe upon their civil liberties just because they have an opposing political viewpoint that often requires the use of explosives. Don't want to be accused of Islamophobia, after all. No, I speak of Great Britain's true criminals. You know, those scallywags that use descriptors online that are deemed to be offensive. Because that's when Britain's bobbies really spring into action. Apparently, anyone who has embraced the catchphrase of "sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me," well, they probably haven't been to not so merry old England lately. Just consider the case of Kate Scottow, a mother who was arrested in front of her children and incarcerated for 7 hours. Her crime? Well, while online, she had the temerity to refer to a transgender woman as a man. According to the Daily Mail, the 38-year-old Scottow was writing on the online forum Mumsnet when she was arrested in her home by 3 police officers right in front of her 10-year-old daughter and 20-month-old son. Says Scottow, quote, "I was then detained for 7 hours in a cell with no sanitary products, which I said I needed, before being interviewed, then later released under investigation. I was arrested for harassment and malicious communications because I called someone out and misgendered them on Twitter," end quote. Scottow was also served with a court order that actually bans her from referring to her accuser as a man. Meanwhile, Hertfordshire police say, quote, "We take all reports of malicious communication seriously," end quote. But hang on, coppers, how is it malicious to call a man a man? That's what Stephanie, not his real name of course, is. A man, a dude, a member of the Y chromosome club. Check out his photo. Oh, sure, he looks pretty in pink, but a transgender woman is kind of like an iceberg. Unless there's been some slicing and dicing, the business end of the transgender is beneath the surface, if you catch my drift. As for the real woman, Scottow, well, she also had to submit to mugshots, DNA samples, and fingerprinting. As well, more than 2 months after her arrest, she still hasn't had her mobile phone or her laptop returned, which she says is hampering her studies for a master's in forensic psychology. And she still remains under investigation. That's right. Someone committing misgendering online is given the full surveillance treatment, whereas those 23,000 known jihadis, hey, come on. Boys will be boys, unless they're girls, I guess. How odd. Once upon a time, meeting someone on a street corner who proclaimed to be Napoleon usually resulted in that individual receiving an ambulance ride to the funny farm. Today, we have to address such a whack job as Mr. Bonaparte for fear of hurting his feelings. And if y'all got a problem with that, then you're the ones that will be going off to the rubber room soon. And so it is that the Franken females and the he-she's in the UK must be referred to by their alleged gender as opposed to their real gender. And if you don't do that, well, the UK's finest have a nice comfy cell waiting for you. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, have you heard? All Rebel shows can be listened to as a podcast. Please go to therebel.media/listen.